Today, Rinpoche explained how, when we go about our daily practice, if we wear the armor of joyous perseverance, we are unharmed by anything that happens and we will be able to become enlightened very quickly.
Oh, yeah.
Allez, de sunju gi ra e la ni ra e ngu dang sunju
Voilà.
jp ta so tambo la sun de
Tambola son so ba. What the cause ichang tena.
Okay, so welcome everyone to the Chenrezig Tibetan Buddhist Center. Once again, we are looking at Lama Tsongkhapa's treatise on the stages of the path to enlightenment, and specifically the section on the perfection of joyous perseverance. So that'll be the section generally. So if we turn to page 184 in the English, you'll see the divisions of joyous perseverance. That's where we're going to begin today, the divisions by way of two. I'm all right. So that's where we'll begin. Yomari, the hula, the 425, the tsunju gi ra elani ra engu dang.
What the tsundu nu ta tsundu sana.
Less so.
Tanga so the tsundu second the kashure. So kan gala to was Gawala, Gawadubala, Gawashibi, Shibatanjila, Sundula, the Sundu.
Less so.
Sunduji. That Sundu, Yola Kajas and Yola Niji, Yongwanda, Sunduji.
Less so.
Jibi Tauni, Marba.
Less so.
That Sundu, Yoatala, Song. Yoan Song de, Kosai Sundu, Gawachu, Sundu, Chudu Sundu, sentient
less so.
That tombo, Kocha is under the Shanchu Samba, Sundu Zomba Nas, Sundu Zomba, that Kocha. That Shindu to Sol, that Kocha Lord, no Kocha Mitakandua. Kocha Tangasu Manamatandu, Sunshag Makokan, good, Tulunda Juro, Kocha Lodua. Then I Shindu to the Kocha Lodo Kocha. Metushu said never Matuba Inza, Kochas. Kocha is under
less so. Tambo.
No, Kocha is under it. That Goachi is under the sentient is under that Tombo Kocha is under. Shanchu Samba na, Tundu Tomba na, Yu Haru ne, Seje Jua Hondo, Yu, Sambi, Gushanda Tabo, Chamba Shedes, Dane, Gaba Chambu Tontan, Yu Nabi, Neja Sabi, Gaba Chambu Drama Bason, Shewa Trambom Juji, Sentient Jigi, Dungan, Sei Chedo, Dunga Sei Chedo, Sentient Yawa, Kona Nene, Sanji Toba Jona, Droa Shede, Zuzang Shedo, Zumba Sheba, Zundula Shoba, Madonna. Dieu tele, Tonatan, Dunga Chi Nuan, Tajim Yamba, Tadabatan, Kochai Tundus, Kochai Tundus, and Shagures, Dasha Jusabana, Tundu Zombana, Yu, that Tundu Mazon, Tundu Mazon Nella, and the Yu Harune, Sentient Draw Hondo. Sentient Draw Hondo, sambi koshas senje ji toa senje gabaji yage ne toa dong kocha dong ma dong gurus kocha de tabo chunde kocha du tabo chunde dan keba chambu tung da yunya be keba chambu tung da yunya be neja sabe keba chambu chama ba sun keba chama sun shewa cha bom bonju ji sentient ji dunga sai shedos sentient relation na me mena keba ja zu ne go jo to so re do sai shedo sentient nyawa kuna nena sanji toba chona zhuo shede duzhang geshe de zhamba she la zhende le shuba ma dong na zhende le shuba shangju samba su wa de ge ga se gore kaba mo dong da kaba dong de nyawa ne go ba chwa yi na se jeng ge do ne shangju sai gong ba de ga ba yo res zhuo sheba de zhang geshe na kale jawa de sentient tantric de sanju go to bi chedo res chedo zhamba she las sanju go to bi chedo zhende zong res zhende la shoba ma don na zhende le shoba de shangju sama dong ma re
Rimche, the nga sanje kopang, the sentient tamje sanje kopang.
na sentient tantric ji don to ne sanju go to res
The sentient tanje sanje kopang.
sentient tantric ji don to
Lesser.
sentient tantric ji don to ne sanju ge is
Okay, lesser.
yeah
The sansang e de trugudu. Dene?
sentient tantric ji don
Okay,
to ne
let's
sanju ne ne wo de keba mobile kali jago ba ina o ne ne ga so gore shomba me be ko chat res
Lesser.
keba chemo tong dang yu nya ba ni ja sa bi keba chemo chama ba song shwa cha bom mon ju ji shen jian ji gi dong se she dos ne se jian nya wa kona ne san ji to ban ju na zhuo she des se jian re shen na me bi mo na keba ja su na gu jang hen ji me ji shang ju chu zhen bi zhen de pa xin zu ba xin on de zu re do da zhen da bu re do
The lungka ne.
da lama chu ba ma be lama chu ba
Okay.
se jian ji gi she do ne se jian re shen na be me de se jian ji gi do keba na me nyawa na me ne keba ba ne gu zhong na ya de ne gi yin sa ba ji zhen de ku sha do de ne ju wa res nyawa kona ne na sa ji to ban ju na zhuo she de shang ju sa ba ga bu yo res se jian ji gi do keba nyawa ne gu ba yin na shang ju sa ba so ga bu yo res zhuo she de du zhang ge she de du se jian tang ji do du shang ju du zhang ge she du zhang ba she ba la sentient tantric de du sanju go mo to be she do zhang ba she ba la zhende le shoba ma don nas ne zhende le shoba dong ma de zhende le nga ba shu go res sentient tantric de zhende sanji sentient tantric de do sanju go mo to be che do zhende zong go res tu ji yuan de le tong an da che chong yu da je mes de keba tong la so be den ge wa de zhende zang ne ba yin so to tong den le ane zhende zang ba le ge sha ga yo ma res me ba jim he ba de ta bu gu cha yi zhende so gu cha yi zhende wa den de ja wu res
Okay, so we begin in the English on page 184, where it says the divisions of joyous perseverance. The section on the divisions of joyous perseverance has two parts. One, the actual divisions, and two, the method of developing joyous perseverance. So we go to the first category. There are three divisions. The first category of actual divisions is armor-like joyous perseverance. Here, this is exactly what it says. When warriors go into battle, they'll put on an armor in order to not be pierced, in order to not be harmed by various arrows and so forth. So this armor is similar. So this is the armor that you would think of when one would go into battle, is the kind of armor that the joyous perseverance that one engages in puts on. So it's compared to that same kind of armor that would keep you safe from all of this harm in a battle. Likewise, this joyous perseverance is like an armor to protect you in the battle to enlightenment, something to that effect. I might have over-poeticed it. I apologize if I did, but it's something to that degree where it's like the armor that you would prepare to go into battle with protects you from harm in the same way that the armor of joyous perseverance protects you while you go into this quest for enlightenment or pathway to enlightenment. So this is the first category, armor like joyous perseverance. Number 2, joyous perseverance at gathering virtue. And number 3, joyous perseverance of acting for the welfare of living beings. So number 1, or A, joyous like armor like joyous perseverance. When bodhisattvas joyously persevere, prior to actively engaging themselves, they put on the armor of a preliminary enthusiastic thought, such as, for 1,000,000,000 sets of 3 immeasurably great eons, each composed of days as long as 1,000 great eons, I shall not relinquish my practice of joyous perseverance. For the sake of relieving the suffering of a single living being, I would rejoice at remaining only as a hell being until I attain Buddhahood. As I exert myself in this manner for the sake of complete enlightenment, what need is there to mention my perseverance over a shorter period or in the face of lesser suffering? So if we can use logic and analyze this and conclude that it makes sense in terms of future and enlightenment and progressing on the path, then what need is there to mention it in shorter intervals, shorter periods of time, if it ultimately guides one to that complete goal? What need is there to mention what it could do in smaller, that you would obviously be progressing or moving forward if it ultimately would cause that greater goal in the shorter spans? So there's no need to mention that there's, in shorter spans, amazing attainments. So if one's able to put on this armor to persevere to enlightenment, then imagine in the day-to-day what this armor would allow one to persevere in. That basically something to that effect. So here, it's very similar to the sentiment. I don't have a copy, and it would take way too long, but the point made of working for others' welfare in the Guru Puja. We find that a quote of where the previously we've engaged in self-cherishing, and now we work seeing that turn this cherishing attitude into working for others' needs. Something to that degree. So we work for others' needs. How do we ultimately do that? We become a Buddha if we want to ultimately help sentient beings. If we want to relieve, it says, for the sake of relieving the suffering of a single being. So in the reason that we engage in these practices in the Mahayana context, as a translator's note, is to become a Buddha. And we become a Buddha in order to fulfill the needs of all sentient beings. So in order for us to be able to fulfill all sentient beings' needs, it's necessary for us to have a complete enlightenment, not be handicapped in any way, have a complete enlightenment. So this is the reason that we are putting on this armor in order to progress through these pathways which will allow us to fulfill others' needs in a complete fashion. So looking back at what the definition of joyous perseverance is, it's delighting in virtue, or finding joy in engaging in virtuous activities. Yes, it is. So when we look at just a translator's note in engaging in the Guide to the Bodhisattva's Way of Life, what is joyous perseverance? It is delight in virtue. So this is how it is defined. Rinpoche defined it. I don't remember if he said from where, so if I added that, I apologize. So this is the point of this first paragraph, is becoming the purpose of putting on this armor is in order to progress on the pathway so that one may fulfill not only one's own goals, but ultimately the goals of self and others. Digson Rinpoche.
Oh, that's the thing, but Shansen Khan, Tundawas, Shanchu Samba Khan, Kucha Tundu Tundawala, Mabazandan, Tebatan Sheba Tean, Temba Yin, the Shanchu Samba Suke, Kucha Tundu Mabatan, Tebat Temba Shira, Matembatan Mares, Temba Yin de Lama Shanchu Shedo, Tundu Tumbapado, Maybe, Ju Teba Shina. Tundu Tetan Demba, Tajimus, Lama Shanchu Shedo, Tundu Tumbapado, Maybe, Ju Teba Shinas, Tundu Tetan Demba, Tajimus, Sentient tantric to Sanju Gubun to be Shedo, Tundu Tumbapado, Meba, Ju Teba, Tundu Tumbapado, Meba, what Nyalan Tendaji, Tetabi Tundu Demba, Kichayo Maris, Demba, Tajimu. Kichayo Maris, Tajime. Tela ni Shanchu Dan, Jenji Shedo, Le Gan la Saint Chombi, Kawaji Gube, Kawaji Gube, Shakawaji, Memba, Shansa le Sondes, ni Shanchu Samba Solo, the Kalikabu Maris. Kalikab Meba de Papa to make Chancel on those. Tella Shanchu Dan, Jenji Shedos, Shanchu Sana to Shanchu, Rajesh Shanchu, Tejan Shanchu Sonro, Rajesh Shanchu Sana Raja Dajumbe, Bombi and then to be and then to Rajesh Shanchu, Netugi, Dajumbe, Montugi and then to Netu Shanchu, Teba Chembi, and Sanji Bondu Yuan Teba Chimbi Shanju Lagarwa, Shanju.
Pombi Yunten Dong, Dupi Yunten?
Pombi is a good Guden. To be it is a long down Guden to the Marba.
The Gonga Mebichi Rimshi, the Pombi Yunten, the Rangel, the Nuji, the Pombi Yunten? Nuji Pong? Okay. Pombi, okay. Sopolatu. Okay, so now such is the joyous perseverance that is like armor. A bodhisattva who produces even an aspiration for or just faith in such joyous perseverance is steadfast. How much more so one who is endowed with this perseverance, even that he or she develops measureless causes for joyously persevering for the sake of unsurpassed enlightenment. The Bodhisattva level says that for such a person, there is absolutely no action for the sake of others and for enlightenment that is discouraging or entails hardship. So according to the Bodhisattva levels is that once one has this joyous perseverance, there is no hardship, there is no discouragement that can occur in terms of helping others or in terms of working for the sake of others. So anything that one does for others cannot cause suffering, cannot cause hardship if one has this joyous perseverance, this armor-like joyous perseverance. So here it's showing how it's a protection from hardship, protection from discouragement, etc. So the Bodhisattva level says that for such a person there is absolutely no action for the sake of others and for enlightenment that is discouraging or entails hardship. So here this word enlightenment is used, and above it unsurpassed enlightenment is used. So there are three different types of enlightenment: the enlightenment of the hearer, the enlightenment of the solitary realizer, and then the enlightenment of the bodhisattva. So unsurpassed enlightenment is the enlightenment of the bodhisattva, complete Buddhahood. But all of these enlightenments have their own abandonments and realizations. So there are the abandonments of the hearer vehicle and realizations of the hearer vehicle. So if we look at the abandonment, we would say cessation. If we look at the realization, we would say path, true paths of the hearers. And the same for solitary realizer and the bodhisattva. Both have, all three have these excellent quality of abandonment and excellent quality of realization. And abandonment refers to the cessation, and realization to the pathway. Then I asked Rinpoche, so for instance, the hearer vehicle, their excellent quality of abandonment would be the abandonment of the afflictive obstructions. And he said yes. So the abandonment for the bodhisattva of the obstructions to omniscience would be the excellent quality of abandonment of the bodhisattva. So it depends on which vehicle we're speaking of when we're talking about their excellent quality of abandonment and excellent quality of realization. So here, when we speak of unsurpassable enlightenment, we're speaking of complete Buddhahood. Let me just make sure. Nge Tsampa Digson.
Tala Shanshu Dangshen Jisheto Le Ganla Saint Jumbi Kawachi Gubi Shakawa Chiang Member Shanshu Samba to the Genji Tanto and the Kalijabalo, the Kalikapakayo Mares, Susun Suna, and the Lebe Papa to make Shansal Sundos. Tala Shanshu Dang Genji Sheto Le Ganla Saint Jumbi Kawachi Gubi Shakawa Chiang Member Shansal Sundos, Shansal Shanshu Samba to or Tetabi Kalikabatel, Tunzumbala, Kalayo Mares, Member de Susun, Shansal Sundos, Shansal Sundan, Denda Yu, Sambala Comba, Denda Sambala Comba Shena, Tiba Chembi, Rigi, Nuba, Sing Ebe, Jundu Jean Javos, Denda Yu Samba Shanju Samba to Lunoja, Samba to the and to San Jean Juarez, Comba Shena, Jean Comba Shebaina, Teba Chembi Rigi, Nuba Sing Rigi Nuba Sing Ebe, Jean Javos, Germaje, to the San Mamadana, Tijan to Resebe, Jun Rores, about Jean Gores. Tijan the race about Niji Chamber Julie, Tijan the race about his Niji Chamber Julie, and Tijan the race about his Nato San Tanatabaina, and then Niji Chamber Julie Chiago, what in the Jun Rores. The name was all Luanchi who responded that Jean Shao.
Then Techen Rik Giju Sho Sena? The Ninji Chenpo Chuchen?
Techen to research read shows and Ninji Chenpo, Ninji Mashi Tenzu Yongusha.
Lesser.
Ninji Chenpo to Kadujul Jesuna, Techen to research by Yinsun.
Ale, lesser. Then the Semche Magu. The Rik Jena Semche Magu.
Research Gonzalo Sinjay Michel no Sanji Maro. Sinjay Jul Jama Tabal Sanji Maro. Research was Sinjay Michel.
You know, the Ninji Chenpo, the Laksan Semche. Then the Techen Rik Semche Magu. Ninji Chenpo.
Techen to research read the last Gomaro.
Okay, lesser, okay.
Jetan teaching reason Rajinari the Genjuri, Sanjik read and Laguandua. Teaching to research read the Nichambal.
Oh, lesser. Okay, two chena. So then it says the Bodhisattva, I just don't want to miss this point, so I'm going to read, I'm just going to stop and read. The Bodhisattva level says that for such a person there is absolutely no action for the sake of others and for enlightenment that is discouraging or entails hardship. So there is no activity whatsoever done for the sake of others that would cause pain, suffering, etc. for one who has this armor-like joyous perseverance. When you become conditioned to such a state of mind, it becomes the definite cause of awakening your potential for the Mahayana lineage, so train in it. So if we were to say, posit that which is the awakening of the potential for the Mahayana lineage, we would say great compassion. So great compassion is that which awakens the potential for the Mahayana lineage. So there are... so what I was asking Rinpoche, I said, so in order to awaken the Mahayana lineage, you don't need bodhicitta yet? He said there's many Mahayana lineage, types of Mahayana lineage, but this specific one, the awakening of it, takes place once you achieve great compassion. So Rinpoche said, then he explained or listed the 7-point cause and effect for achieving the mind that aspires to enlightenment, and said this great compassion that we're speaking of is the great compassion that when we look at that 7-point cause and effect, the first, recognizing sentient beings are our mothers, remembering their kindness, wishing to repay their kindness, love through the force of attraction, and then great compassion. As soon as that great compassion occurs, then there is this awakening of the potential, of awakening your potential for the Mahayana lineage. That occurs at great compassion. And then, of course, in the 7-point cause and effect, then you have the extraordinary attitude, and then bodhicitta, or the mind that aspires to enlightenment. But this awakening takes place at great compassion. There are other... Rinpoche listed really quickly a couple other kinds of Mahayana lineage and that would have bodhicitta. But this specific awakening of potential is great compassion. Dixon. Sopaldu.
Ta pashin dubaro, pashin dubal me bau marba.
Less so.
Pashin dubal lejan, pashin te kontro. Pashin dubal lejans. Kanshir ku tadan. Nyazanto, ku tadan nyazanto. Jachi ren yu nin dan chenjula. Tada sabe. Lojuro durin kaba jasu chuti tanye kaba jasu chuti tanye je shanchu chuki senshi chenjola tendai nabe chujin rishin dogo jujang hiji juames shanchu tamba jelu meba do koserangi dogen Saint-Angin, Kochai Temba, Pai Tejena, Tuju Pai Niji Ngajela, Yanda Lamba, Tambu Yimba Ju, Shesomba, Kochai Sundu Sos, Pashin Dubi, Kochai Sundu Kudo Timba, Pashin Duba, Lube Pai, Pashin Duba, Pashin Duba Lejan, Haku, Tatan. Nyazanto ne jachi ni sen chenjola tanda sabis ne zundu sabi lojuru durin yus kaba jasu chuti tanya jasu chenpa chui ti tanda nyabe kaba tanya ji shanchu chu senshi chenjolas ane shangchu sen wadanda sundu samba ina ane shangchu sen de jul jewa de yongo res chenju la tendre yi nabe chojin rerishin deje nabe chojin rerishin drogo shon jang hinji jowa mes tendre sundu samba nabe ane so na so rerishin drogo ba jona ya ane jowa yo ma shangchu sen ba sen shomba yo ma jowa yo ma res Dogres. Dogojan, Hinji Joame. Shanchu Tamba Jelo Mebanjo, Shanchu Gomotobal Jelo Samba Yomares, Jelo Samba Yomare, Kocha Rangi Donge, qual cuise, rangi dunga, Saint Anchin, qual cuise, rangi dunga, Saint Anchin, Kocha Temba Pai, Tejina, and Tuju Pai, Hinjinga Jela, Yanda Lava Tambo, Yemba Ju, Jesombi, Kocha Resource, what the good song is that.
Concerning armor like joyous perseverance, the Compendium of Perfection says, so here we have a quote from Aryashura Lobun Bawo, in as many eons as there are drops of water in the ocean, eons in which the years are composed of long, drawn-out days and nights equal in duration even to the temporal limits of cyclic existence, you produce the spirit of supreme enlightenment once. Though you likewise have to accomplish every other collection, you do not become disheartened because of your compassion, and undiscouraged you achieve sublime enlightenment. To generate this immeasurable steadfast armor while disregarding your suffering and cyclic existence is declared the first proper undertaking for the disciplined hero possessed of compassion. So here, these three stanzas by Aryashura, all referring to the qualities of this armor-like perseverance. There was really not any commentary on that. Dixon.
Oh, yeah. That doesn't matter. Jian. Kwa Toma Mabane, show Kwa Toma Mabane. Tata in Shilas. Kwa Toma Maban, Tata in Shila. Shaji to Shebe. Shaji to Shebe. Shaji la Nyamaji. Nyama Sonchula Dawaji Samara. What the song there? She to Shebe. Sha Sonchula Dawatan. Te Junila, Dawa Junil Loji. Dawa Junila Loshebe. Lombong Swana. Lombong Bon Swana. Shanchuji Senji Jeshins. And the Shanchu Senji Jeshins. Sanji Chiton Las. Tenda yi Kangi Longi Shimi, Chantan, Nyaba, Jigi, Sijin Jigi, Sentan, Sheba Shela, Sijin Sheba Shela, Tetabi, Chuji, Sijin Taji, Senji, Sheba, Shagujan, Merumbi, Kochala, Kocha Mezeba, Ludu Mezebi Sheba Le Sonde, Kona Mebi, Kocha Yutundu Sauce, Kocha Yutundu Second Water Jiris.
Jurimbo.
Yeah. What that Shanchu was what the Keba Mobile, what the Lunja, the Sonde is our water.
Less so.
Yeah.
So this next part puts into perspective the amount of time that a bodhisattva actually endures what he or she has to, and what he or she is willing to endure. So it puts it into some kind of perspective, this next part. Furthermore, even if it took you 100,000 years to produce the spirit of enlightenment once and to see one Buddha, where each year is composed of 12 months, each month of 30 days, and each day as long as the time from beginningless cyclic existence to present, and even if it took you this length of time multiplied by the number of grains of sand in the Ganges River to know the mind and behavior of one living being, you similarly must come to know the minds and behaviors of all living beings. The teachings of the Aksayamata Sutra says the armor of being undaunted is the inexhaustible armor. It is armor like joyous perseverance of the highest caliber. So this is the amount of time that one would enjoy engaging in effort for in order to become enlightened as a bodhisattva. So the point that's being made here is that when you're looking at the math here, a day isn't a normal day. It's a day is as long as there's already been since beginningless time, and then the rest of the math, and then a day, a week, a months, and years, etc. So if you reverse the math and then add it that way, you see the point that's being made is the enormous amount of time and effort that the bodhisattva is willing to put in and acknowledges is necessary for him or her to put in. So it's making the perspective reasonable. Dixon.
What Jeremy do do Shuba Yina do nas do na. Tenda Kocha Chundu in the Samba Yina and then Rebu Karioris in Triba Yina do nan the day Samba the Chin Nunas Kocha Chundu la Subo the Samba the Chin Nuba Yina Two Taiba Sagres Two Taiba Delados Two Taiba Nakalima Basatures Two Taiba Delado Dujins Deba Badu Mabandajin, you did the city, ne Badu Mabandanagres, Dala, Shimadubi, Juchudun Jushin, Shimaduba, then Shajusamatama and Drag, then Juchud Juyashudres, Juchudun Jushin, Yuncheta Riwan La, Gawatatanto, Nudo, Tanjalas, Yun cheta rinwa la gabu yoba yina tatan to nyoto sanjia jobu sanjia chana gres nyoto sanja la shoba taye batan tu che rinwa su la tuwa che yang meba tu tong sanja wan doba ne Sanjila Chirinwa, Joa Yintesa. That done about Jisung or Jermishi. Two Chirinwa, Sola, Joa Jia Mabas, two Rimble Goyal, what in the government Mabaje, Joa Jia Maba, two Tung Sanja and Deba, ne, to say to Sonjinola, Sanjia and Deba ne, Deba Yoba Dene, Sanjil Chirinwa. Sanjay Kuponto Tarin is Tarin one joy in there. Jesse Naji, Hindu, Jesse Naji, Hindu Medu Shua, Jesse Naji, Hindu Medu Shua, and the Shaju Sabaton Hindu Medu Shua, Tamil Lugin to Tenaji, the Chambasoro, Tenaji Shaju Sabato, what the Pemasigo, what the Hindu Chibin Roda. Geshe Lharampa Hindu Medu Shuan, Jiwala Geshe Lharampa. What you don't know is Sanjia, or the nigger San Tambaina, and Jessica Hindu Chia, get in the journey, the rest, Geshe Lharampa. Tetabi Kosha Chune, Kanki Tanto, Tundu Tombala Nil Alewa to Ulma Lendro, what about Juna?
No, det är så. Det är ni, det är ni ka.
Ja.
Gud så gammal.
Ja.
Det don't do ni le.
Dona.
Okay. All right. So in short, if you can generate a single attitude such as lesso, then yamdudo.
Ja.
In short, if you can generate a single attitude such as this, you easily complete limitless accumulations and purify measureless obscurations. This becomes the most excellent cause for never turning back. By just being joyful no matter how long it takes, you quickly become a Buddha. Those who want to become a Buddha in a short time but take no joy at all in the limitless deeds and great length of time required, take a very long time to reach Buddhahood, because they thereby fail to produce the wonderful courage of the conqueror's children. After you have put on such armor, you joyously persevere for two purposes: to gather virtue and to act for the welfare of living beings. That's it. Decent.
Ta gawa chudibi tundu, gawa chudibi
Nipa.
다 거와 추디 전에 들어와 거와 추디 전에 네 신도 양다바 루비실 저달라 요 워서 거와 추디 전에 선간데스나
Nyun.
신도 양다바 루비시도 신도 양다바 루비시도 저달라 루정제비오 산루던지라 거와 추디 전에 서레스 전도
Bless you.
전도 요wo
Union.
The
The kuna. Okay, number 2, joyous perseverance of gathering virtue. So we had armor-like joyous perseverance, so that completes that. Now, joyous perseverance of gathering virtue, and these are quite short. The joyous perseverance of gathering virtue is applying yourself to the practice of the 6 perfections in order to properly accomplish them. So this is number 2. To joyously persevere in the practice of the 6 perfections. Nene?
다 신신 된시 전도 말봐. 신신 된시 전도네. 된샤와 주지라 제다르 리바 주 전도 소스. 신신 된시 전도 생한테 신신 된샤와 주지 가서 나온들라 전는 같은 여보. 컴퓨터 진짜래.
Less so.
된샤와 주지라 제다르 리바 주 전도 소스. 신신 된샤와 주지들 제다르 리바 주 전도들 네 세제 된지 전도서레스
Less so.
전도서 어떻게 주나
Okay, now number 3, the last, joyous perseverance of acting for the welfare of living beings. The joyous perseverance of acting for the welfare of living beings is properly applying yourself to the practice of the 11 activities for others' welfare. And we previously went over those 11 activities. You can see it in the tapes on the computer, or look it up in Pabunka Rinpoche's Liberation in the Palm of Your Hand, where you'll find those 11 listed as well, 11 activities for others' welfare. Diksum. Nipa.
다 니바 전도 집이 타로 전도 집이 니바 데려도 전도 집 하실랑 가이 봐 전도 중 오지 대냥술래 주비 타 니바 오더라도 대냥술래 타 니바 전도 냥술래 타 니바 전도 로스 냥술래 타네 하시바 따라 손이지 가주다지 제와다 내바다 표와 데라 라레베 데 집이냐네 신도 개초스 네바 존도 집이 탈 존도 줄을 제가 다시 가지고 그랬으나 타네 하셔봐들 손이지 손하고 소다 시고 손은 소서나 상주 살아서 봐 와도 손은 소 말봐 이제 소서나 돈이도 싫어라서 봐 저 이제 소로 손하고 소다 시고
Sunan Sok Sho Yanjer
손은 소서나
Yanjer
네 상주 생 이제 전부터 말봐
Less so.
저 손은 소인스 시즈 버바신 너네 싫어마도 제가 그 손은 소인스로
Less so.
싫어 바로 신봉비 네 가서 저한테 타수시스 시즈 버바신 너네 싫어도 마도 제가 그 타인 송요아레스
Less so.
저한테 타수송스
Then they Bechagare.
런던으로
London. Okay, Tuche. Gongamepachi.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we have entered into the second category of the method of developing joyous perseverance. So the first were the actual divisions. So we've completed that section, and now we get into the method of developing joyous perseverance. As explained above, since you produce, maintain, and increase all the virtues of the 2 collections in dependence upon joyous perseverance, the practice that develops it is very crucial. So it's saying that the 2 collections are caused, produced, maintained, and increase. I'm sorry, let me start that over. It states here that the 2 collections are the 2 collections of merit and exalted wisdom are produced, maintained, and increased in dependence upon joyous perseverance. So here, joyous perseverance is extremely important if we wish to become enlightened, because the 2 collections are necessary to have in order to become enlightened. So the collection of merit is referring to the mind that aspires to enlightenment, great compassion. Things of this nature fall categorically under the collection of merit. The collection of wisdom refers to any among the collection of wisdom refers to the sixth perfection, the wisdom realizing emptiness. So when we look at according to Atisha's lamp for the path to enlightenment, if you are to state which of the six perfections fall under the category of let me just find it. It's easier just to do that. If I can't find it quickly, I'll just... And it's speaking of the six perfections. It's saying that apart from the perfection of wisdom, all virtuous practices, such as the perfection of giving, up to, translator's note, up to the perfection of concentration, are described as skillful means by the victorious one. So these are the collection of merit, and the collection of wisdom would be that perfection of wisdom, that last of the six perfections. So the collection of merit or method refers to all of those up to the first five perfections, and then the sixth perfection falls categorically under the collection of wisdom. So I'm sorry if I confused that more than was necessary, but here, where it's talking about the two collections that depend upon joyous perseverance, it's speaking of the collection of merit, which is referring to any of those perfections which aren't the perfection of wisdom, according to Atisha, and the collection of wisdom, which refers to the wisdom realizing emptiness, the wisdom realizing the nature of reality. Digsung Rinpoche. Lesso.
Tanga de labani salajana bajini yungurwa. Tanaji sonanda ishikusu drebedle ni yoris. Sonangusu drebedle longutu chogo zugutres. Ishikusu drebedle ne chogo gonenda nanchenye yungumare.
Lesso. So what do these two collections create? What are they? What is their purpose? So the collections create the various bodies of the Buddha. So when we look at the collection of merit creates the form body of the Buddha. So the form body of the Buddha is broken down into two categories, the enjoyment body and the emanation body. So the lonku and tuku, and those all fall under the category of zuku, which is the form body. Then the next category, the collection of wisdom, creates the chuku, which is the truth body. And then the truth body broken down into the omniscience and cessation. So these are the categories of truth body, and those are created by the collection of wisdom. So it says that it's like two hands leaving imprints in the sand. The one hand of the collection of merit leaves the imprint in the sand, which we would say creates the form bodies of the emanation and the enjoyment. And then if we were looking at the collection of wisdom and looking at the impression that it leaves in the sand, we would say it creates the truth body, the dharma body of the wisdom of all, or omniscience and cessation. So the nature, truth body, and the Ngoji Chukudang. Ngoni Chukudang Yeshi Chuku. Exalted wisdom and net nature are the two, I believe, technical names of the omniscience and cessation bodies. Dixon.
다소 나고 소다 이식 소 천이요로 추르주 권이는 또 조규 라젠 주지 레스네 바데 소는 소 천이레스 천쇼스는 샤주선 추르주 권이지는 또 조규 라젠 주지 레스네 추규 라젠 주지 레스네 바데 이식 소 천이 천쇼스는 돈이 두비시로 된 거래.
Okay, so if we were to, both of these have definitions. I'm going to get close. The definition of the collection of merit and the definition of the collection of exalted wisdom. The collection of merit is that which is in the lineage, which is a producer, is a direct producer of the form bodies of the Buddha. So a collection which is a direct producer of the form bodies of the Buddha, within the lineage of that which is a producer of the form bodies of the Buddha. Something to that effect, that that within the definition of the collection of merit is that it's qualified as that which produces the form body. And then within the definition of the collection of wisdom, you have a similar point. You have that which is within the lineage of a producer of the truth body. So when we look at these two collections in their definitions, I'm sure somewhere, I don't know anywhere that I have it here, but we could find exact, but I don't think I'm missing many of the words. It's meaning that it's within the lineage of that which gives rise to the form body. That would be the collection of merit. Within the lineage of that which gives rise to the truth body would be the definition of the collection of wisdom. So that's it. Dixon.
하시바 니바 준주집이 터네 하시바 따라 초니지 소는 것도 시도 초니지 가주 당지 제바나 초니라 되네 가주 당지 제와나 내바나 네 야표와 표안들라 라레베 소는 것도 시도 라레 그래서 샤주 셈을 나도야 담부지야 되네 야페야 네 다시야 두르는 걸로 소나구소나 시그쪽에 레버레스
Lesso.
저와도 내바다 표원들라 손님들라 라레베 내 집이 냐래네 신도 개조 소나도 네 시그쪽 어디 냐래 제가 개조레스 개조 대야 개로를 미치 쇼알레 개로를 미치 쇼알레 요니스 그를 쉬어주로 쉬어래 주니 콜라지 존들라 네 용소 조바 통유 제로조바샤오스 쉬어주나진스 쉬어주시 존도 시다야분도스 네 콜하보 오네 된다가 차창 어디야분도 되는 소장 네 쉬어주를 되는 송바 인스제는 뭐지 어디 송된사래.
Okay, so the method of developing joyous perseverance. As explained above, since you produce, maintain, and increase all the virtues of the two collections in dependence upon joyous perseverance, the practice that develops it is very crucial. So why is it very crucial when we go backwards? It's very crucial because the two collections create the two divisions of bodies of the Buddha. So without these collections, there is no Buddha, because without the bodies of the Buddha, there is no Buddha. So the Buddha is the bodies of the Buddha. So if we were to say posit the Buddha, we would say the form body and the truth body. It says the practice that develops it is very crucial. So joyous perseverance, the practice that develops joyous perseverance is very crucial because it's what gives rise to the two collections and allows them to stay and increase. And those two collections give rise to the Buddha. And if you say what of the Buddha, it would say the form and truth body of the Buddha, which is the only Buddha. Joyous perseverance. I shall discuss the system of the text of the great scholar and adept Shantideva engaging in the bodhisattva deeds, noting that it is complete as well as noting that it is complete as well as easy to understand and to sustain in practice. And Rinpoche just stated that how wonderful a text the Shantideva's engaging in the Bodhisattva deeds is. The method of developing joyous perseverance has 4 parts. Okay, Digsun.
Tandala je, tundu dala je sin jiro, tundu dala je, je karesana, tundu jin gejen pongwa tangpa je, tundu jin gejen pongwa tangpa je, tunjen pongge tu saba nipa je, tenyi la tenne, tundu tongpa, lolangpa songpa je, tele le dang, sen le surongwa, she tu los, tela tenne le le surongwa dang, sen le deba yungwe mare, she tu saji wa song digandwa, song re song.
Je.
Je ro je.
Lessa.
Je tere.
Okay, so we have 4 categories. The method of developing joyous perseverance has 4 parts. 1, eliminating unfavorable conditions that prevent joyous perseverance. 2, gathering the forces of favorable conditions. 3, based on the elimination of unfavorable conditions and the accumulation of favorable conditions, being intent on joyously persevering. And 4, how to use joyous perseverance to make the mind and body serviceable. So these are the 4 categories. Dixon.
Oche, ta shiga na tambo taro, ta tambo ne, lang la manju bala nyi te, lang la manju bala sachi nyi te gandwa, ru nipa tong yang manju ba dans, ote, chondre de nyangsu laga ina, tesu, toba ina ya, ten nyangsu ma lenpa yuwa res, tong yang manju ba dans, ne, da ke, tenrawa, kala nus, Wate tabi yuwarin pa chundu tanda sangu na ngan tosa maris. San shungne manju kenshi yuwar, nyi teres. Shungne manju ba wo. Dru nu menu la, loka mashu ne, manju ba yue me jans. Dru nu menu antene ko san lu shun, loka mashu ken Mashiba watende yuwares, dru nu minu, loka mashu ne maruba yue me jes, dene chuwa tenye la, chebe ka minos, dene chuwa tenye la, taba tenye ka la, tenye la, chebe ka minos, tenye la chibi ka mares. Ta tambo la nyi, dru jig na tambo ra ba. Lang la, manju ba la nyi, dru nipa tun yang, manju ba tang, daga danda wa kala nyu nya ba nyi je. Ta dru nipa tun yang, manjuba tambo darwa, ru nipa tunga manjuba, tambo la nyi yue tes, tadung lung yue nyane, wadana tuse mambu yuwa rizane, kaleji chukuri samba yimbare. Tadung lung yue nyane, shishwe shibi lelo res lelo, tuse mambu yuwa rizane, chugu gong chukuri samba, lelo res, lelo jen tang. Tene, Miyang shawa ngaba tamen bi shawa na la chabe seju ne ba os da tamen bi shawa la cha ne ano wade tunde tsangu ya ma
Lessa.
seju ne ba o
Lessa.
tada te kong ka ba su song du sana tada shenju le
Lessa.
tela manju shu she sha tunde la manju shu she sha Lelo ngaya la shenpa tang, lelo ngaya shen tang, jelo dani nye ba wos. Lelo tang, jelo bi lelo, wa tenye ki chun shen ne, chun du di abu yung go ma res. Sheso os. Lelo chi ju ne, nyung le tang, dawa me bi rola cha ba tang, Nije de wala siba dan kuala chushi meba na te nyole de ronya dan nyela tembi siba yi kwa donge machule lelo nyawa chewa njoro shesos what kale juna mara.
So, okay, so eliminating unfavorable conditions that prevent joyous perseverance. Eliminating unfavorable conditions that prevent joyous perseverance has two parts. Identifying factors incompatible with joyous perseverance, and two, employing the methods to eliminate the incompatible factors. So number one, identifying factors incompatible with joyous perseverance. There are two factors incompatible with entering the path. Number one, not entering even though you see that you can do the practice. And two, not entering because you become discouraged thinking, how can I do such a practice? Indeed, there is also not practicing because you are unconcerned with whether you are capable or not. But this is irrelevant here since this explanation is for those pursuing liberation. Within the first factor, there are two possibilities. One, you have the laziness of procrastination, thinking there is still time. And two, you are procrastinating, but you are overwhelmed by your attachment to inferior and common activities. In this vein, engaging in the Bodhisattva deeds says, the factors incompatible with joyous perseverance are said to be laziness, adhering to what is ignoble, and self-contempt out of discouragement. Causes for the production of laziness are indolence, attachment to the taste of inferior pleasures, craving the pleasure of sleep, and lack of disenchantment with cyclic existence. Engaging in the Bodhisattva deed states, laziness arises from craving based upon indolence, enjoyment of pleasure, and sleep, and from a lack of disenchantment with the suffering of cyclic existence. Some assert that the first two lines indicate the form that laziness takes rather than its causes. So I think I might have read a line or two in, but maybe not. Okay, Diksung Rinpoche.
Ta kaji kama tamani je naba jeta jewa tenpa do dos. Kaji je ge wate kama tamani je jeta jewa do dosa. Kama tamani te marwa nyole de ronya ta nila tenbi siba is nila tenbi siba kama tamani je ne tamani naba jeta jewa tenpa do dos. Naba jeta jewa tenpa do dos. Te bon yi ta tenpa la son les. Te bon yi ta tenpa la ne le lo bon yi ta tenpa la son le. Shishi le lo goba la son. Le lo bon yi ta tenpa la saje son je. Shishi le lo bon yi shishi le lo goba la saje son je. Shishi le lo goba la son. Le toba de nyodun jiba tang. Shi wodo nganru tongwa tang. Hayang ten zomben de nye kawa son gong ne long yu do nzimbi le lu ka ne. Long men ju la cheba wosa.
Desum ne de sik chi dene de sar.
Son le dambo os. Shishu le lo goba la son. Shishu le lo goba la son dambo chos na. Le to ba de jun jeba. Tana nga su me le den to de are de mata bares keji nyodun ji ne gres. Shin de gro ta nga so. Nyodun jeba dans.
De sum.
Son na dambo de.
Tambo yanjusur na?
Shishu le lo goba la son ro.
Oh, this ale.
Shishu le lo goba la son je. Son na dambo chos na.
Lesso.
Ne le to ba de nyodun jiba ta. Shi wo do ngandu tongwa da. Hayang ten zombo de nye kawa son gong ne long yu do nyabi le lo ka ne long me ba ju la jeba wosa. what does Naga do? Tambula song, Luto Bande, Newton Jibatasang, me Luton to you as the Mataban Jubi Gorota, Jibatans. She would Deba Magoasa Yoba in a Yawa, Yedat Rul Jagarota. She would Nandutuatans, Nandutuata. Haya, 10 woman the near Bakali covers. Near Gajila Nakilutan, Rasa, what to Marbe. That Deba Mago Chumarva, Deba Mago Chuji, Deba Mago Chu, and then Tambu Sujaba Tabula, Chini Chonson, Chua de Ginawa, Dingy, Yeda Chongotonro. Suja Bumbi Gawa, Chini Chonson, Chimula, Dingy, Hamayin, Chonga, Milichis, what to say the Marba?
I wish I knew how to read this. 124, 120. Let's go. Let's see if I can find something here. Okay, I was trying to find something. I'm not going to be able to do it as quickly as I'd like to. Anyway, so some assert that the first two lines indicate the form that laziness takes rather than its causes. Employing the methods to eliminate the incompatible factors. Employing the methods to eliminate the incompatible factors has three parts. Stopping the laziness of procrastination, stopping the attachment to ignoble activities, and stopping discouragement or self-contempt. So these are the three categories. Number one, stopping the laziness of procrastination. This involves the following three meditations. You contemplate that the body you have at present is rapidly disintegrating, that after death you will fall into the miserable realms, and that it will be difficult to find an excellent life such as this one again. Meditation on these stops the laziness that holds to the notion that there is plenty of time, thereby generating the conviction in your mind that there is no time to spare. These three meditations were explained earlier in the section on the person of small capacity. So we find the life of leisure is we find these 3 points: the impermanence of the body, and that we're rapidly, moment by moment, disintegrating, and that after death we'll probably fall to the miserable realms, because most ordinary beings, for the most part, are involved in the ignoble. Therefore, most ordinary beings fall to the miserable realms because of the familiarization with it. I'm just going back to the section again that it's mentioning here, where these three meditations are. That after death you fall, and that the difficult to find an excellent life such as this again. So then it goes into the difficulty of obtaining a leisure and opportunity is a whole entire section in here. And then the difficulty of finding the excellent life of leisure once again. So we find first the life is disintegrating rapidly, and then after death you will fall to the miserable realms. And then to get this life again would be very difficult. So these are the three that we're rapidly disintegrating. We're now in a higher realm. After death, we'll fall to the lower realms. And thirdly, that it's difficult to obtain a life of leisure and opportunity. So these are the points that are made in the earlier chapters with greater detail, obviously. That's it. It's around page. If you look in the back, I think it says page 124 of the first edition. Around there is where it starts. If anybody's going back to the editions, it's around. It says it in the back here. I'm not exactly sure how to read the footnotes, but I believe it says 124, and that's the section where it gets into the difficulty of obtaining leisure and opportunity. So just going back to the previous teaching that we went over, you can look on the cassettes in the previous classes, and there's an entire teaching on these topics. Diksung Rinpoche.
다 루토바는 뉴도 지바다 시우도 ngano tongwa ne laya tenzo nyeba kawa tu ngalo chebu chungu ko son seba yes
Lesso.
de son ne ha chebu chungu ko so shesen dos
Lesso.
chebu chungu ko so she son sabares
Lesso.
shesen do shawanga bala chaba gaba ne tambi chune de shin di shira gawa tayeban zhongyu juyinba dang dunmebi jaju mawa dang goba suji nayi na di dun chenpo li nyamba sheba dangs dun chenpo li nyamba sheba da shima dun mayinba dungen duma jebi nensu tongne gongla gaba sha des gai june tayi be tanchu gai chupon ne dungan june nayi dang gosu la chu jishir ga shesos o dadan ma tambi chune di shir gawa la tayi ba jongyu tambi chu do da gabaje ya go tayi ba jongyu radio ares imbata maybe jaju mawata global soba na tunda maybe kasha tane sheda yoro kemaga global su nai na di tun chambale nyabas what the tundu tambala the tun chambale nyano res chunji res nyabra sheba ta shema tema imba dunga toma what this ane teme bi jaju da gobala suba tu ngalo ane shima dunga to ma nyawala suba tu chia juje gres shima teme yeba dunga to ma chibi nesu tone gomba gonla gaba shates ka gures gai june taibe goa taiba mamu yores ta chu gai chupone nachu gai chupone dunga jun nai nachu gai chu de babone dunga gu jude shoz na nai da gosu chisha gasa nai de goba su tu kola nasul me cha jore tutul gabche jo masmone cheshi gajuyo maris sheso kaleju na
Okay. Stopping attachment to ignoble activities. You see that the sublime teaching is the source of endless joy in this and future lives, and you lose its great purpose when you are distracted in idle chatter and amusements which are the source of much pointless suffering later. Meditate on this and stop your attachment, engaging in the bodhisattva deed states. How could you abandon the source of infinite joy, the highest of pleasures, the sublime teaching, and delight in distractions and amusements that are the cause of suffering? So here, this is speaking of the gossip and amusement in terms of cyclic, the points of cyclic existence. So focusing on the qualities of cyclic existence, which will later only lead to more suffering, instead of focusing on the opposite of ignoble, basically. So focusing on noble. So focusing on the noble is what causes infinite joy. So it says, how could you abandon the source of infinite joy? So focusing and meditating on that which is noble causes infinite joy, the highest of pleasures, the sublime teaching. So if you're saying what is noble, the sublime teaching is that which is noble, and that which is the antithesis or mutually exclusive with the sublime teaching would be worldly matters, delight and distractions and amusements that are the cause of suffering. So here it's saying that why would one delight in those things that cause suffering when the cause of infinite bliss is something else? So these are the points that are made here. You see that the sublime teaching is the source of endless joy in this and future lives, and that you lose its great purpose when you are distracted in idle chatter and amusements, which are the source of much pointless suffering later. Digsung Rinpoche. Nipa Tsar.
Ta je luba dani nheba gabanes je luba lelu dani nheba gabane Tetar shishu dan shawa ngejen ka ne shishu sena tanga soni de ba jeju ba kale ba jang de shishu se kurwa ne shawa nge ba le chanda an teta bi chunde ma song ba de la shawa ngejen se jirwa tetar shishu dan shawa ngejen ka ne tambi chula chua shong yang tambi chula gabu shong ba ina ya me chu ki ta chugu ma res Tiba Chembula Lugubi, Tijinla Lugures, Tiba Chembula Lugubi, Tela Dandayu, and Druminuso Nado, Shuna, the Sawasha Osa. Tiba Chambers again to what the Kabataman Sosa Tuare, Natu Maris, Sound of the Kubaina, or they sound of the Segures, Mebazugures. Sawa shao de la son le toja la jelo ba gaba toja shanchu netu shanchu raja shanchu tejen shanchu toja marba toja la jelo ba gaba
toja the depot
debor wa debor netu shanchu raja shanchu tejen shanchu toja ro
tuche
toja la jelo ba tu mare nya ba jelo ba gaba 다 투비 털라 제로바 안에 사주 고모 투비 털라 상주주도 생진의 개바트만 소사오래 와트 투고 말해서 제로바 가바 투비 털라 제로바 가바 다스 간투 네네 루비 네라 쇼바 가바스 간투 네네 루비 네라 안에 와트 데네 The Druba in the Tugumadunya be San Shumba Gaba Sumre Dua.
The Sumba, the Connecticut la de du Nyanlan Kalikapu du Jakarla Drogu.
Oh, Tendabri.
The Drabudue.
Tendabri.
Okay, Tuche. Okay. The Dixon.
Sungunan Datambo.
Chishina de lo.
Okay.
Tuche. Okay, so stopping discouragement or self-contempt. It is not enough just to delight in the sublime teaching after you have stopped your procrastination and your attachment to ignoble activities. You must train as a Mahayana practitioner. Therefore, if you become discouraged thinking, someone like me is unable to practice that, you must eliminate this discouragement. Stopping discouragement or self-contempt has three parts. Number one, stopping discouragement about the goal. So here, the goal, depending on which vehicle you're practicing, would be a foe destroyer of the hearer, solitary realizer, or bodhisattva, or the enlightenment of or liberation of the hearer, solitary realizer, and bodhisattva. And the bodhisattva's enlightenment, of course, is Buddhahood. So stopping discouragement about the goal, the result, which is liberation. And again, there are those differing types. Stopping discouragement about the means to attain the goal. So not being discouraged that one, if we look at what the Buddha did, the Buddha engaged in collecting merit for 3 countless eons in order to achieve the goal, which was Buddhahood in Shakyamuni's case. So we see that stopping discouragement about the means to attain that goal, that it 3 countless eons after achieving the mind that aspires to enlightenment, Buddha took to become enlightenment. And number 3, stopping discouragement because wherever you are is a place to practice. So I asked Rinpoche if this would be something like, I can't practice in Connecticut, I need to go to India in order to practice. Or so that's the point here, is that wherever you are is the place to practice. There isn't a more suitable place because you are where you are, wherever you are. So you are the one that is practicing. So it's not the environment, it's in you, inside of you, that becomes realized. Not the environment around you. So stopping discouragement because wherever you are is a place to practice. Digsung.
Ta toja la jelo wa gaba dan, tubi tola jelo wa gaba, kanto nebi drubi nela shomba gabas, sungu nan tambo. Tambo toja la jelo wa gaba, tambo ne, toja sanje ne, jun tada seba dan, yönden tada duba ina, daki ne, yönden har duba dan, jun har goba chik kayu, kawar na yu, da tendra yu, debu tendra toba kala nu nyabi, shumba ngonsu shungna ne, sanje tong yu, nyemi chila sa. O dat de son de do dat ne. Toja sanje ne, jun tada seba dan, da sanje segen do jun kunji yönden kunde, shajaman boda de jun kunji yönden kunde, indan sanje res. Ne sanje galo tenda bro ta.
Jun Gunzi.
Jun kunji yöndi de shiri kunga pombaro.
Oh.
Jun kunji yönden kunde, ane Chenmo dan, tubi yönden sama yoro.
Lesso, tu chi.
Goden dan la den. O de son den zale.
Okay, stopping discouragement about the goal. Quam, if the goal is Buddhahood, so again, the goal is the same one up at the top. If the result you're looking for is Buddhahood, the elimination of all faults and the total completion of all good qualities, then since it is extremely difficult for me to accomplish even a few good qualities or to remove even a few faults, how could someone like me be capable of obtaining such a result? So here it says Buddhahood. So it's qualifying here what Buddhahood is. A Buddha is someone who has completely eliminated all faults. So the total elimination of all faults is referring to the elimination of the afflictive obstructions and the obstructions to omniscience. So not just the afflictive obstructions, both. So the total elimination of all faults and the total completion of all good qualities. So this is what a Buddha is defined as, a being who has all faults, has gotten rid of all faults and only has all good qualities. So what are those good qualities? Those are the excellent qualities of omniscience, great compassion, and so forth. So this is what the Buddha has. Has eliminated and has taken on, and it's so then it's starting with that as the goal, and saying, if this is the goal, if I can't even do smaller things, how could I possibly do that? If the goal is a total elimination and of bad things and the total taking on of only good things, how could I do this? Nene, the lenja gare.
Da shaja tobe, dene sanji gomu tu sabaro.
Lesso.
Dena jin, ane sanji sama sanji gomu tu ayore.
Lesso.
Jusen gare sana, ane sanji ri, kangal sanji ri yores. Sanji ri yozan, ane sama sanji ayores. Sanjil junjo jiga tu sanji ayores.
Lesso.
Ne nyaba sanji ayore. Yeda tu zondo dan. Lada mata samalo sanji ayore.
Lesso.
Jusen karasana sanji ji ri yobejere.
Lesso.
Rid shosana iji sheba dema maruba tro. Iji sheba dema maruba yozan 그걸로 상지해요 그래서.
Okay, so then what is the response then? How could someone like me be capable of obtaining such a result? The reason that this is possible is because all sentient beings have Buddha potential. All sentient beings have Buddha nature. The two things that prove this is the mental consciousness that all sentient beings possess, and the fact that that mental consciousness is not truly established. So the existence of the mental consciousness that the Buddha also had and has, and the lack of true existence of that mental consciousness that the Buddha had and has. So we have this same potential that the Buddha had. Well, the potential has been realized for the Buddha had, and the Buddha was a possessor of all the negative qualities, just like we are. So whether one is a possessor of all negative, or a hell being, or a hungry ghost being, or an animal being, or a human god, any among the beings, all that have mental consciousness necessarily have this Buddha potential. If you're saying posit the Buddha potential, you would say the subject, the mental consciousness. The subject, the lack of true establishment of that said sentient being's mental consciousness. So this is what we're referring to when we say that all sentient beings have this Buddha potential or Buddha nature. So the response to how could someone like me be capable of obtaining a result such as that, all beings, which me is included within, have Buddha potential or Buddha nature, therefore have the ability to achieve that goal of obtaining such a result, that goal. So the Buddha was able to achieve this total elimination of all faults and completion of all excellent qualities. And the Buddha started with the same material that we are starting with right now, a flawed mental consciousness that then eliminated all the faults contained and took on all good qualities possible. So the starting point, though, was the same as our starting point. Yeah. The starting point is kind of a loose way of saying what I'm trying to say, but I think everybody understands that we have the same material that we have right now that the Buddha had, material-wise, to achieve his goal, and other Buddhas her goals. We're talking about Shakyamuni in this case, who was a male, but there's many female Buddhas as well, as the translators note. Decent. Gare. Kar. So we find in the Mahayana Sutra Alamkara this supporting point. I don't have it here, that basically all sentient beings possess this Buddha potential that Shakyamuni possessed. So this same potential is present. And you can look it up in the Mahayana Sutra Alamkara. There's a few books out there. You'll be able to find the...
sentient tantric sentient tantric ye mejida sanji gi juji deba maru sen deba maru bata ma tu gi juji sen deba maru sentient gi juji sen deba maru ba ni de ye me bares tijin ye mejida tin su sentient sama gi ri yores ri shena le jen kun ta sanji.
So it's something to the effect of that the Buddha emanated as us, and the Buddha's mind in that emanation was not truly established. And this is why we say that we have the same just as ours is not truly established. This is why we say that we have this same potential that the Buddha did at that time. We'll have to look it up exactly, but Rinpoche just broke down the meaning of what it was, and it was basically the meaning of it is that the Buddha is not, the Buddha emanated as us, meaning like as a sentient being whose mind is not truly established as ours is not, which made it possible for the achievement that we also can have. Something to this effect. The Mahayana Sutra Alamkara. That's Madhyamika Avatara.
I didn't know if you
I got it. Thank you. Digsung Rinpoche.
다 샤오 냐발라 차바 샤오 냐발라 차바 가바네 샤오 냐발라 차바 가바네 담비춘 디셔 네 가와 타이바 용유 죄임바 다스 담비춘데 대바 쳔비 쳔데 네 가와 타이바 용유 죄레스 강가 가버지야 그 죄들이 와라스 되마비 짜주 마와다 네 거버 수지 나이나 디 전체벌 냐바 셰바다스 와도서 그 전체벌 냐르레스 셔마 되마이바 동에 도마 집에 내수 돈에 곰라 가바샤데 가구레스 가이주네 타예베 단추 가이 최본에 동에 주네 나이다 거수 라주 지실가 시소서 어디봐도 그래 주도서
Rinpoche, Chukabiare.
샤왕에 발라 차바스 지자 니주자 공고들에
Okay. Shewa.
샤왕에 발라 차바 가바네스
Ngatsu de tsar.
차르베
De tsar Rinpoche.
알라 데 우만도르나
The Ngatsu de Chewa Dan Lenja. That's good.
어딘데
The
좋아요 나디로
the Tambo, the Tuja la Jilu Gabadang, the Topi Jilupa Gabadang.
제로보 다니니바
The
가바
Chewa Dan Lenja, the.
아니 그저 좋아요
Okay. Okay, so, it's okay. So, yeah, Digsung. So does anyone have any questions? I think we're going to end right there for today. And maybe if we could do a short question and answer session, if anybody has any questions. Sure. So we'll do the True Akasha Yure.
야 오케이
The Yabudu.
좋아요 나부도
Jeff, I just had a question about the truth body and the emanation body.
Lessa, yes.
Okay, so
Okay, let me get out of the book. Okay.
so the truth body, is that the one that like the Buddha's dwelling in like nirvana, and then the emanation body is like his projection of whatever sentient beings need at that like time?
Somewhat.
Somewhat like
I'll have
that.
Rinpoche explain it.
Okay.
The Rinpoche, the Lunku, the Zuku, the Kabiare, Lunku Kabiare, Chuku Kabiare, the Chuku Gar, the That's Donda Shironang.
어디 아무도
I said, that's a great question. It's a great thing to talk about.
롱고스나 다 바신 대바지나 내방가 된지 주고 타도 롱고의 생이 있어 내가 콩해봐 뒤해봐 챙해봐 저는 가는 나요롱아
Lonkunga.
내방가 된지 주고 타도 내방가 된지 주고 타도 롱고의 생이 돼서 나 좋아서나 내가 봐 오미 두부가 비신고 코나를 주고 그래서 롱고데 오미 두부가 비신고 코나를 주고 그러마도 내 전달 주고 말해서 내가 봐 뒤에 봐 뒤에 코아지시 마동지 봐도 주고 그래서 세제 마동 봐도 주고 그래서 뒤에 봐지 되는 추에 봐 추에 대바 준비 주 마시 주고 그래서 되는 콩에 봐 코상선 봐봐 셔다고 되는 지가래
This sarpa ngat sarpa. The Techen Chu Kuna, Shansen Papa Kuna, Nene?
추에 대바 준비 주 코나 송 그래서
The Chi,
코상선 봐봐 코나래
the Ni,
뒤 코아 지시 마통주 받으레스
The Dondagare.
신제 건가 마주받 쇼그레스 뒤 코아 지시 마통주 받 코아 마통 받 농고다가 쇼그레스 뒤 코아 지시 마통주 받 요바스 저는 생각해 세상 손주자니다 베지 좀 주주 제바던데 마스
Oh, okay. Marks. Okay, so the lunko.
농고를
Lunko. Okay, so first we'll start with the enjoyment body. So the enjoyment body is one among, I'm trying to find, there's some real specificity Rinpoche got into that I would really love to have here about the bodies. I don't have the right book with me, though. I know that. So when we look first at the enjoyment body, let me just see if it's here. We could really get a lot more out of this if I could. 118, 119. Let's go. Ngay sampa kanga yure, tseni kanga. Let's go. Chelat sabi umari. Enjoyment body, 118, 119. Okay, great. I believe. Okay, so here we go. Great. I knew I found it. Dingayure. Okay, rasong. Okay, so the enjoyment body has 5 qualities that qualifications. So the enjoyment body is impermanent, but it continuously displays the same type of body ornamented with the major and minor marks of the Buddha. Therefore, it is immortal. So this enjoyment body has all of the major and minor marks that you read about, the 32 major and 80 minor marks. So the Buddha that is this body is abiding in this realm, the enjoyment body realm, has all of these marks. Number 2, an enjoyment body continuously speaks the same type of doctrine, the Mahayana, and thus is a body that enjoys or uses the Mahayana doctrine as opposed to the emanation body, which abides in Pure Land and preach both Hinayana and Mahayana. So only the Mahayana Dharma is taught by the enjoyment body in this place where it abides. There isn't any Hinayana taught. So the emanation body, which we'll get into, teaches other things. But this enjoyment body only teaches the Mahayana and has all of the marks. Enjoyment body continuously displays the activities that arise from wisdom and compassion, so continuously teaches and so forth the people who are there. These activities of body, speech, and mind are performed without effort, and though an emanation body does not exist in different forms, it displays. There's something missing in here, and is that the enjoyment body only teaches the Arya Bodhisattvas. So I don't know why that's not in here, but one of the qualifications of the enjoyment body is that it only teaches the Arya Bodhisattvas. So I don't know which one in here of the 5 I just read. No time. Rinpoche just went quickly with it. But definitely one is only teaching Mahayana, has the major and minor marks, and is only teaching the Arya Bodhisattvas, those bodhisattvas who've reached the path of seeing or above. So in this place, this Pure Land where the enjoyment body is abiding, it's teaching superior bodhisattvas only, and only teaching the Mahayana. So this is a form body that's endowed with all of the marks and is actually teaching in a Pure Land. This is one body of the Buddha. Then the chuku.
다 쪼글라 추구 단테는 제나 쪼구 니도와 추구 저 내방가도 메데 쪼구 타도 추구 그 생이스 네 추구 샤자 도바 어디 추구로 와다 제단은 사지가 쪼바달라 내 몸을 요하다 사지가 좀 사요하래 추요하래 매요하래 되는 현바요하래 네 미셔요하래 현바말라 유주 샤마라 샤유주 어떤 담은다 요서다
Then the becha the truku ewa sum, the guitar the
추구 ane karasa ji chukos ji chuku shajaman boda ji chuku lai po tamba tu kabo shajaman boda gaden ega chunel chu
The Shin Dang.
wo to su ngalo zui chuku
Ale.
zui chuku shin dang sa dang chu dang ma dang hyunba dang sanji chubal dhamana mabu
And Rimoken Dang guitar. So the emanation body appear is a form body that can appear for whatever purpose for the sake of sentient beings. So, for instance, there's 3, it says here, artisans such as guitarists, goldsmiths, or scribes, constructions such as a tree or a deer. Some says bridges, water, fire, Rinpoche said, can emanate as. And then supreme beings who display the 12 activities of a bodhisattva who becomes a Buddha. That would be in the case of Buddha Shakyamuni, who came and displayed these activities of how one becomes a Buddha in order to teach. So the emanation body is the body that shows up anywhere and does whatever it needs to help. So as before, it isn't only necessarily teaching the Mahayana doctrine. It can teach Hinayana, it could teach non-Buddhist doctrine. It could do anything that's of benefit to others. The emanation body can. So we have emanation body and enjoyment body. Chuku. Chuku donin.
chuku to the dhamana mabu sarada nebanga dhamma dhamma zuku tatu chuku chenji jayo ro chuku dhala chuku dhan chuku mabu yores
Gongame chuku.
chuku ya chuku no ne anga dhamma rata
Less so.
chuku shajamana buddha.
So the best kind of emanation body would be the supreme being who display the 12 activities of a bodhisattva who becomes a Buddha. So an example of that would be Buddha Shakyamuni. So this is the best kind of emanation that there is. Then the lonko, chuku.
chuku sanat maraba
The
tabani de chunyuku chuku chenji maraba tabani de je tabani de chunyuku de chuku chenji is chuku de sanji ke tujun goden da na chenji de sanji ju goden chuku re de na chen de chuku ro tabani de shiri ke taba nyeri ke taba nyeri bomba shiri bomba.
Ale, the Goden, Shidri.
Goden shiri tabani
Goden, Shidri, Goden, Nidri. Okay. So then the Dharma body, or the truth body as it's called, is the of 2 parts. One is the actual realization of the cessation, which is permanent. So the cessation of the afflictive obstructions, the cessation of the obstructions to omniscience. That abiding in cessation is one of the truth bodies, and the other is the wisdom realizing emptiness. Is the omniscience. It says both. So the Buddha's omniscient mind is the other. So we have the true cessations, and then we have the omniscience. Here I'll read a little bit here. The truth body is so called because it has 2 parts, the nature body and the wisdom body. So the nature being cessation and the wisdom being the omniscience are respectively the ultimate true cessation. So the nature body is the cessations of suffering, the cessation of the obstructions to omniscience, the cessation of afflictive obstructions, and the ultimate true path. So that is the omniscience and so forth. The nature body is of 2 types, a naturally pure nature body, which is the absence from beginningless time. Anyway, this is in Jeffrey Hopkins' Meditation on Emptiness. You'll find a huge section on the bodies. And there's another text I can't remember the name of right now that's actually on the Mahayana Sutra Alamkara that you'll find a huge amount of work on the bodies as well. But that's the basic breakdown. The Dharma body, Jeffrey Hopkins' Meditation on Emptiness. So in summary, the Dharma body, the truth body, has the 2 categories. One is cessations and one is omniscience. The nature body is the cessations. and the wisdom body is omniscience. Then we have enjoyment body. This is a body that's abiding only with Arya Bodhisattvas, that's teaching only the Mahayana doctrine, that has all of the different marks and so forth, and is teaching at all times. And then the emanation body is the Buddha's body that emanates in a form to anything necessary where he or she can be of assistance, even if it's a bridge, even if it's a fire, whatever it is, it can be of assistance. But the best emanation body is the supreme body, which is referring to a holy being such as Buddha Shakyamuni. Diksum. Sheda Selpaldu Rinpoche. So there are so many emanations of Buddhas, and we just don't know who they are. Then, I think there was one more question, right?
I can ask it another time.
Are you sure?
Well,
We're here. We may not have another time.
okay.
We don't know, right?
That's true. So it's about the three paths: the solitary, the hearer, the solitary realizer, I think, and the Bodhisattva path.
Sure.
So I have some confusion about, don't this even they reach enlightenment, but if you're a being, do you follow all three paths or to ultimately become a Buddha, or do you leave the solitary realizer's path and then go to the Bodhisattva
Great question.
path?
The Techen, the Sung, Tepa Sum, Nyentu Rangjel, then Shansen, then Kongi Chiwa, the Rimbo Dandra, Ngatsu Kanga, Tambo, Nyentu, Dene Rangjel, Dene Techen, Rimbo Dandrapo, Jipu Sun Lanji Rimbo Dandrapo, the Susur Dupa, Gare.
What the Nemaris, then Nitu Long Shogun Dobares, Majuna Dobares,
Lesso,
Rangel Tichibares,
Lesso,
and Tijan Tarota.
Lesso.
Takashina, Nitu Long Shu, then Shansan Lialham Waters, Kashi Rangel Long Shu, Tijan Leshu.
Tomorrow.
Rangel Long Shu, and Tijan Leshu.
Oh, okay. So they aren't stages in the sense that each of us first goes through the stages of a hearer, then through the stages of a solitary realizer. There are those practices which are in common, so those practices which the hearer, solitary realizer, and bodhisattva would all concur were beginning points, but it isn't necessary to go through them in terms of stages. You can begin with the bodhisattva path that leads to Buddhahood from the start, but parts of that will be what parts of the hearer path and solitary realizer path includes as well. So Rinpoche said it's really one's own affinity. Some have more affinity for the hearer, some have more affinity for the solitary realizer, some have more affinity for the bodhisattva path. And just as a translator's note, there are some who say, it's too much for me to become a Buddha. I only can handle my own liberation. And that would be a hearer or a solitary realizer. There are some who have an affinity right from the start to become a Buddha for the sake of all sentient beings. So that person would start right at the Mahayana, the bodhisattva vehicle. They wouldn't need to start from here, then go to solitary realizer, then bodhisattva, although some parts would be common. Make sense? Silbudu. Okay. Tu Chenrezig Rinpoche. So, yes, Ted.
So you said there was the lineage that had as a cause great compassion, and you said Rinpoche said multiple lineages. So what are the multiple lineages for bodhicitta?
Well, what Rinpoche was saying is, it's saying that it becomes the definite cause of awakening your potential for the Mahayana lineage. So your potential for the Mahayana lineage begins at the great compassion step. So Rinpoche, the Techen Rik Mambo, the Chiran Laso, Gangen Sena, the Ninji Chenpo, the Ngamangatsu Geche Sheson, the Ninji Chenpo, the Techen Rik, the Ju Dandrar, then Chan Sumpare, the Techen Rik Mambo, Zanjer Rik Nik Jason, Janjer Rik Nik Jason.
티젠도 리세비지 리드 힌지 쳔보레스
Less so.
힌지 뭐 줄이 제송나 티젠도 리세버레스 마시 진전 전주 연구샤바 힌지
Less so.
티젠도 리세버레스 제단 사제 릴니요로 라지네르 제주리 라지네르 제주리 가르스나 네 나주 이지 셰바다 이 셰바데 마마루바 이 셰바데 제주그리레 이 셰바데 마마루바다 라지네르 힌스
So when we look at this, the differentiation that's being made, awakening your potential for the Mahayana lineage happens, Rinpoche is saying, at great compassion. So when we look at the 7-point cause and effect, recognizing sentient beings as our mother, remembering their kindness, wishing to repay their kindness, love through the force of attraction, when we generate great compassion, at that point we've generated the potential for the Mahayana lineage. But when we the Chenrezig mambo.
Chenrezig hinji 쳔보 비진 버레 제단 사제 리스나 티젠 장보고 말 신지 사말이로
So we could say that Mahayana lineage or potential. See, the same word, this word lineage is the same word that we would use for Buddha lineage, Buddha nature, Buddha potential. So what Rinpoche was saying during that part was that a Mahayana, awakens the potential for the Mahayana lineage, but when we look at Buddha lineage or Buddha nature, there are varying types. There is the Buddha nature, which is the mental consciousness itself, and then there is the Buddha nature, which is the lack of true establishment of the Buddha, of the mental consciousness itself. So it's just a turn up in the words here. This is potential for Mahayana lineage is different than the potential for Buddha lineage. Buddha lineage, Buddha potential, Buddha nature, these are all the same words, just translated, the same word being translated as different things. So potential for Mahayana lineage happens when we have great compassion. Buddha lineage happens because we have mental consciousness and because that mental consciousness is not truly established. So the two lineages Rinpoche was talking about were the lineages of the mental consciousness and the lack of true establishment of mental consciousnesses. But the potential for the Mahayana lineage, which is separate, because Buddha potential and Mahayana lineage are Buddha potential, Mahayana potential are not the same. They're different points that are being made here. The Mahayana, it sounds like it's the same because Mahayana is the only way to become a Buddha, but I guess you would have to know all the thousands of divisions and so forth to know where this fits into categorically exactly. But Rinpoche is saying that this potential for Mahayana lineage, then the Techen Rik Sanjay Rik Yamicha.
티젠지리나 선지리 차거래
Sanjay Rik Techen Rik Cha.
선지리 티리 차고 말해
Okay, say then show.
선지리
Tulan?
티젠리 세대바마르고 주지
Sanjay Ri.
세대바마르고 선지리로 티젠리 많이 희심 많이 베시 다바 임베시.
So in order for the Mahayana lineage to be awakened, there has to be great compassion involved, whereas the Buddha lineage does not require, we could say, lack of true establishment. The Yanjer Suranang Sho Serna? Sanjay.
Sanjay Cho.
Leso.
Sanjay Tijin Macho.
Macha Sho? Yanjer Suna. Macha.
Rajineri Chuchi.
Okay, so we could say, for instance, the emptiness, the lack of true establishment of the mental consciousness is Buddha potential, but not Mahayana potential. Because Mahayana potential requires great compassion, which is impermanent, whereas the other is a permanent, and those are mutually exclusive. I'm sorry if everyone's looking at me like I'm losing them, but this all makes sense within the framework of an outline, that that if you're looking at it from the framework of an outline, you have Buddha lineage. And Rinpoche said if it is a Buddha lineage, it is not, if it is a Mahayana lineage, it is necessarily a Buddha lineage. If it is a Buddha lineage, it is not necessarily a Mahayana lineage. Show that which is Buddha lineage but not Mahayana lineage, you would say the lack of true establishment of the mental consciousness. The lack of the true establishment of the mental consciousness is Buddha lineage but not Mahayana lineage. Why isn't it Mahayana lineage? Because it's permanent. Because it's not compassion. Because it's not those things which are necessary in order for it to be the arousal of a Mahayana lineage. So I'm going to end there, but I think the points are made that there's, as far as Mahayana lineage and Buddha lineage goes, those are different subjects, although there are, if it is a Mahayana lineage, it is necessarily a Buddha lineage. So Mahayana lineage is a Buddha lineage, but if it's a Buddha lineage, it's not necessarily a Mahayana lineage. So there is a connection there, and that's why Rinpoche said there are many, because when we look at it in terms of these lineages, we could say that there are Buddha lineages that are Mahayana lineages, and Mahayana lineages and Buddha lineages that are not Mahayana lineages. So. And Mahayana lineages are always Buddha lineages. So that's the ending thesis point. And when we look at lineage, there's so many. We could say the lineage of the Brahmins, the lineage of the in terms of caste system is what we're kind of speaking of now, the lineage of the untouchables, the lineage of the Brahmins and so forth. So we can say those are lineages as well. So when we use this word, it's the same word that you would use for a caste system, the lineage of the Brahmins, the lineage of Mahayana, the lineage. So when we use this word lineage, Rinpoche is saying, it can refer to so many different things, and it's just within the context of the topic what it means with that. It means something totally different when we say Buddha lineage than when we say the lineage of the Brahmin's lineage, and that would mean something completely different. The Buddha lineage would be something that we have naturally, but it wouldn't be something that was passed down in the same way that we would think of lineage. So it's all the trouble with translation and at this point and what the best word is. I'm seeing lineage used all the time now for Buddha nature, Buddha lineage. So they're choosing that word now, which is going to confuse a lot of people because it's going to sound like, are they talking about the Shakya clan? It's really going to confuse things. So anyway, let's go to the conclusion. Unless we have more questions. No, it's 11. Concluding mandala offering and dedication prayer. Thank you, everyone, for your questions. It's so helpful. And Rinpoche said that questions like these are wonderful to have. So everyone who asks a question, really, Rinpoche does appreciate it. Thank you. The fundamental ground is scented with incense and strewn with flowers, adorned with Mount Meru, the four continents, the sun, and the moon. I imagine this as a Buddha land and offer it. May all sentient beings enjoy this pure realm. I dedicate whatever virtues I have collected for the benefit of the teachings and of all sentient beings, and in particular for the essential teachings of Venerable Losang Drakpa to shine forever. I send forth this jeweled mandala to you, precious Guru. I dedicate all this virtue to emulate the knowledge of the hero Manjushri and likewise Samantabhadra as well. With whatever dedication is praised as supreme by all the conquerors who traverse the 3 times, I also dedicate all my roots of virtue for the sake of auspicious deeds. In that pure land surrounded by snowy mountains, you are the source of all benefit and happiness. All-powerful Avalokiteshvara Tenzin Gyatso, may you stay until samsara's end. I pray for the long life of the precious Khensur Wandak, upholder of scriptural and realizational doctrines, the spiritual friend who trains extensively in the 5 great philosophical texts with exceptional wisdom and perseverance. Tuji Rimche Gutsi Shapi Denona. Unsu Lamrim Chenmo Konga Chirlang. Sheda Selpudu. Then Ngate Sampa de Zalapa La the Gomrim Gutso. So just everybody, Wednesday I believe we're still on, right? For the first Wednesday, the first Wednesday of the month is the second Wednesday of the month this month, and we will begin the teaching on Kamala Shila's stages of meditation. So it's very exciting. And anyone who wants to buy a book, the Dalai Lama has a wonderful book out. We'll be using probably the translation in that book, or one very similar to it, and it also includes a lot of great commentary. So this is the book, Stages of Meditation by the Dalai Lama, and it is a gem. So if you would like to follow along with the teaching, you can kind of see all the commentaries together. That's it. Thanks. Oh, and Losar is next Sunday. So we can get our Losar on. We're going to get down. We will have... no.